Another talk with When Nerds Learn to Fly, and the question is, are nerds going to fly? If I look like crap today, it's because I feel like crap. I didn't sleep at all last night, and here's why. We've been planning this trip to Tibet and Everest Base Camp for almost 6 months now. We haven't been on a vacation, even an extra day off in 6 months. This is probably going to be the best trip we've ever been on, but it's also been the hardest to book. Between getting your Tibetan permit, your guide, your driver, the train, which was insane to get tickets for, it's been really, really tough. And then within the last week, we had another obstacle blown into our way. A few days ago, Hurricane Irma formed. She has grown into a Category 5 storm that is headed now straight for Florida. We were to fly out of Orlando on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. for San Francisco. We went through Charlie, Francis, Jean, Ivan, Matthew, and 100 other names that I can mention. And luckily, Central Florida usually doesn't get hit terribly hard. It's not going to say that there's not going to be power lines and trees and complications, but we're usually not completely devastated like your island. What's bad is the airports get closed down. It was looking pretty good for us. Everything in the prediction showed that the eye of the hurricane would be hitting Miami about 2 p.m. on Sunday. Orlando's 200 miles north of that, and it looked like that if we were leaving at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, we might be able to get out before the hurricane. Yesterday, they were announcing that Orlando Airport was going to be open until 6 p.m. on Sunday. We came home last night. We were checking everything. Everything was looking good. And then we saw a notice on the Orlando Airport's website that said that they were closing at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, that negates our flight on Sunday. So we called United Airlines, who were flying, spoke to a representative, explained to him what we had seen on the Orlando's airport's website, and asked if we could book an earlier flight. Well, of course, there's a lot of people who don't live in Florida who've been trying to get out of here before the storm because they're terrified of it. It took a lot of waiting and a lot of juggling, and he said, I can get you out on a 5:35 p.m. on Saturday. What we saw on the website said 5 p.m., no more flights. Well, we haven't been notified of that. As of this time, these flights are leaving out. We booked that flight and started to try to figure out how we fix our parking, hotel in San Francisco. You plan and plan and plan, and then all of a sudden all your plans are blown out of the water and you have to change everything. So when I went to bed, I couldn't stop thinking the whole time. What if we don't make it? What if how late can we get a flight and still make our train? So many things running through my head, and I just wasn't sure where we were going to end up on it. So I didn't sleep. I got up this morning, checked MCO. They had removed that notice. They had let Wesh News know that that was a mistake, that the airport's going to remain opened. We got to feeling really good about it again, and then I checked my flight status. I hadn't got a notification by email yet. You can't wait for stuff like that. You got to just keep checking. So when I checked, it said that our flight had been canceled. I got on the phone again. I waited probably 30 minutes before I spoke to a representative. I started working with the representative, who was incredibly sweet, and I know she has to deal with the most horrid people in this situation. I used to work customer service, and people can be so nasty to people who have absolutely no control over the weather or no control over the airlines. They are only there to assist you, and getting nasty with them because you're frustrated doesn't help at all. So I spoke to her for a while, explained the situation that we were in, asked if there were any earlier flights that were available. There's nothing available. Even when you go onto their website and look, everything is sold out. But at this point, Irma is even confusing the supercomputers who usually compute the model pass for these, her spaghetti models have been all over the place. So I booked for Tuesday, flying out on Tuesday, arriving on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we catch the train. So hopefully we're going to be able to get out on Tuesday. Until then, we'll start hurricane preparedness around here. I'm timid about changing our reservations for Xi'an yet, because maybe we'll get there a day early. Maybe we'll get there a day later and we'll be staying the entire time in Xi'an instead of going to Lhasa. I really hope that's not the case. The main reason that we booked the flight was because of the opportunity to go to Everest Base Camp in Lhasa. Because it's such a remote thing and you're going through a local guide, I don't know what our cancellation fees are at this time. It may be complete cancellation. That's a risk you take. It happens. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully the next video blog I do will be from Tibet, or at least the airport. Maybe we'll do some hurricane updates too.